Alright, welcome back. Season 4 review here, episode 42. This is going to be quite fun to look back on the season now that we've actually completed not only winning the Premier League, but also completing the double with the Champions League victory last time around. What a victory against PSG that was, and to just absolutely an incredible... Like, I'm still over the moon about that game. Like, when I went to bed at night, that game put a smile on my face. And even when I edited the video the next day, it still put a smile on my face. So, you can see how good it is. We've got new owners, of course. The next season will be interesting to see if I can... see what I can get out of them. I'm hoping we can get maybe a few more extra dollary dues out of them. I think looking at my team briefly on the other night, I think the plan going into next season is to look at a right back, left back, and potentially... I do have my eyes on a pretty good regen that I think would be a really good step up. I also potentially look at a new centre back regen for Ajax, who could potentially be the next Delit. So we'll have a look at them and we'll see what's available on the market. But let's start it off with first and foremost. Let's talk about we'll go Premier League first. So the Premier League started off, and you know, we'll go through past positions because I think this is a real indication of just how dominant we were all season long and how important it is. We'll put City in as well just to see where they are in the situation. Who did they play the first game of the season? They drew the first game of the season, and that really is probably where you could argue City potentially were behind from the start, and really that's kind of where we took the lead. And once you take the lead in the Premier League, I always feel like it's yours to lose, really. At least in recent years, and we just stayed atop, and that was a key. Now with the Qatar World Cup this season, I felt like it was crucial to be ahead. I felt like that was what's the word? It gives you that mental advantage. Look, we're ahead at the halfway point. I think you take, what was it, 4, 6, 8 weeks maybe? I don't know how long it was again, but if you take that off and you have to chase down 5 points, it's a huge mental advantage for us to have. And really, I think it came down to that. I think that was the key. We got out early. We got out to a nice advantage, and we started ahead. Now, last season, there's actually 4 real things I looked at. The first thing I was looking at was the amount, well, actually 5. The amount of wins, draws, and losses I wanted to have next season. Now, my goal was to get 30 wins. I felt like 30 wins was the minimum required to catch City. I think City last season got 97 points. We got 87 points last season, so there's only a 2-point difference, but in the end, City got 8 points less. So you can see how important that was. Now, I thought we'd need 30 wins. It turns out we only needed 28, but we did draw on goal on points difference. So technically, an extra win would have been handy. Would have done that. We had 5 draws. Now let's look at the draws. We drew to Tottenham. That was a very lackadaisical game. We drew twice to Wolves, and we drew to Bournemouth and Leeds. The Bournemouth and Leeds games, I'm a little disappointed about. I think we probably should have won those 2 games. I think they're probably something I need to look to improve in, and that's definitely an area thing. I don't think the draws to Wolves and Tottenham are bad. Look, you're going to draw 3 or 4 in a season. I think if you're going to draw, you need to draw to a top 6 team, although Wolves are down in 12th. They do seem to have my number for some reason, which is a little frustrating, but look, where are Leeds? Leeds are 10th, so it's not too bad, I suppose. And Bournemouth are in 11th, so 10th, 11th, and 12th having my number there with the draws. So that was a little bit disappointing. On the losses column, we lost to Chelsea. They were in 4th. We lost to City, who, of course, we lost both times to them and finished 2nd. They took 6 points from us, and they still could not beat us, which shows you how good we were. Lost to Arsenal away, and we lost to Liverpool. The key thing there is that the 4 losses are away from home, and only 1 of them is at home. So, at the end of the day, not too upset about that, but I would like to get it down to 4, next season. Maybe beat City at home and only lose away from home would be pretty good. We led the goal difference. We led goals, goal difference, and conceded, which is a huge positive because I think last season we conceded probably too many. 23 is a pretty good number for goals conceded, I think, over a Premier League season, and 88 goals is also pretty nice. So that was definitely an area I wanted to improve. I felt we were a little bit low in that last season, so it's great to see the team really come through in that area, and something that I was absolutely delighted with. Let's have a look at the home record. Did we win the home record? Yes, we did. So our home record was 2 points better than Liverpool, 3 points better than City. Our away record was 2nd best, only City beating us by 3. So that's where the cancellation act comes out of away. So yeah, pretty happy with that. First half of the season, They're only 1 point ahead the first half of the season, but still, wow, geez, that was a lot closer than I was expecting. Wow, Chelsea were in the fight as well. How did we do in the second half of the season? Yeah, I think City the better side in the second half of the season. Chelsea kind of fell off, and so did kind of Liverpool as well. So, interesting to see. There's the combined leaderboard if anyone wants to look at that. The media prediction. We were predicted to finish third. So, yeah, take that up your pipe and smoke it. Brilliant result. Anyway, let's go to the squad. I think I should have gone to the squad first, but let's go through the squad. Let's go through it by position-wise, and we can kind of talk about Dean Henderson. I think Dean Henderson's time at the club is over. I just don't have space for him. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's 26. I think it's time to kind of let him see what's out there for him. You know, he's been part of United Academy for a while. I think it's time to, like, you know, let him go out there and see if he can fend for himself rather than, you know, keeping the club. Marco Mola has just been a really good backup goalkeeper. There's nothing really going to argue about him. We paid something like pennies for him, and you know, he just does the deed when we need him to come in. So I was happy with his performance this season. I don't think there's anything I need to worry about. De Gea, I thought De Gea was brilliant this season. I thought he was really. I think if we don't have De Gea, I think we're in a whole, you know, world of pain, and it's good to see him back for next season. I'll probably renew his contract maybe for 1 more year. He's on 400k a week though. Oh, that hurts so much to look at. But look, he is probably worth that in the end of the day. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I wasn't exactly 100% pleased with him at the start of the season, but he really did improve at the end of the season, and he did come up with some massive games when we needed him to. I think he has won the battle for that starting gig over Diego Dalot, who in the end, I like Diego Dalot. I think he's a good player. I think he's probably better in real life than he has been for us, but I feel like he's just hit the slump, which unfortunately we need better than this, and I think we'll probably look to sell him this offseason. I think that's where he needs to go. I think it's probably the right time to move him on, and I think that'll be the best for both parties. Let's go to the centre backs. Josko Guardiola. I felt like Guardiola improved this season. I think he is starting to, you know, emerge into the player I was considered, not considered, but what my scouts considered he would be. So it's good to see him really improve. I don't know whether he's a left back or he's a centre thing. I think he's a mix of, like, he's kind of like a hybrid, but I think he's coming along nicely. He's doing exactly what we need him to do. I think he sits in pretty nicely in that number 4 role. So look, no problems with him at all. Now Harry Mcguire. Wow, where do we start with Harry Mcguire? He's very moany. I'm not a big fan of him. To be honest, I'd let him go for free if someone's offered him free. I'd let him go for anything. Let's see what he's available for. I might offer 20 million for him and see if someone bites. Axel Tuanzebe, just a really good number 3. I think we made the right choice getting Jonathan Tah. And look, I think Tuanzebe is a fantastic player, but I think Jonathan Tah and Jean-Claire Todibo are just that step up a bit, and I think that's what we needed. Look, he's a great number 2 option, and I think, you know, if we need a centre back to cover, I think he's, you know, top quality. So I've got no complaints about Axel Tuanzebe. Chris Smalling is a player I'm going to let go. I kept him around this season just for simply having a contract here that was team friendly, and I felt like he could do a job if we needed him to slot in for injuries or anything like that. And to be frank, he's been a good servant to the club. So look, you know, best of luck wherever he goes next season. And who's he wanted by? Wanted by El Sayad. That's a bit of a downgrade, but look, you know, yeah, but that's what he wants to do. Jean-Claire Todibo. So I think he is our best centre back. I think he's a little bit better than Jonathan Tah, but it's very close between the two of them. I think he was a huge buy. I think ever since we got him, I think our fortunes have massively changed. I think he's a huge piece of the puzzle. Jonathan Tah, he was brilliant as well this season. He really came in and kind of brought that kind of no-nonsense German attitude that I like. You know, efficiency first and foremost. Just brilliant player, and I think him going forward, partnering with Todibo will really make us a formidable opponent long into this stretch. Brandon Williams just never developed into the player that I think most people think he is based off this season. He's not a left back, okay? He's a right back really, and unfortunately with the right back he's behind Ethan Laird, so really I don't really have a choice. I can't really keep him around. I've let him go to Lille, so look, we'll see what happens to his career as he goes forward. Luke Shaw really did improve this as the season went on. I think he really took advantage of Luca Digne getting injured. That was a big positive because I was a little bit nervous once, both of them did pick up injuries and had to move Guardiola over. So he had some great performances. Delighted with what he could contribute this season. I did get him on a new team-friendly deal for next 3 seasons, so we'll look to keep him around for a while. But I am also looking for that new left back that can take over for Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw is 27 and Digne is 29, so they are getting up in age a little bit. I thought Digne's season was massively affected by that broken ankle. He just never looked the same after it. I was trying to get him like back to form, and I couldn't do that, and he was such a key piece of the puzzle last season. So look, I'm sure he'll come good next season, but I will be looking to get left back in to challenge both Shaw and Digne. So we'll see what goes through from there. Sandro Tonali, on the other hand, a good player, a great backup, but I feel like, I don't know what to describe him as. He's a frustrating player, because I know there's more there with him, but we haven't seen that more with him. And maybe I'm still waiting. Maybe he's just 23. He's probably at the point where he needs to really start showing his performance. He is probably our best backup. I think he did kind of overtake Hanel Mebber in that role. We need to see more from him. Dominique Szoboszlai. No idea what I'm going to do with this kid. I thought he'd be a little bit better when we signed him. Then again, there is probably a reason why Salzburg let him go. We'll look when he comes back. We'll have a look and see what he has to offer. If he's nothing, then we'll probably let him go. But look, he was a cheap, we bought him on a pre-contract. We can sell him for some money. Yuri Tielemans. I thought Yuri Tielemans, again, I was not big on Tielemans when we signed him. I thought he wasn't my first or second choice, but to be honest, I think he's played better than what my first or second choices could ever play. He has absolutely lived up to the bill. He runs the show really with Pogba in the midfield, and I think going forward, I think if there's an odd person out, it's probably Bruno Fernandes in that midfield who will probably look to move on and get moving on. But I mean, what was Tillman's performances like this season? A 7.58 in the last 5 and a 7.24 for the season. So he's just Mr. Consistent. I mean, he was brilliant. I can't find anything wrong with him. Scott McTominay's out on loan with Villarreal. I just don't have a place for him. He just doesn't fit my scheme at all. Hannibal Mebry, on the other hand, I don't know if I'm stunting his growth or not, because I think he could play more if we send him out on loan, but he's just so good when we need him to do a job. He's brilliant. And I think keeping him around the club, I think he's improving just the right pace for me. We'll keep him around. We'll see what happens with him. Carlos Elena, I'm probably going to let go. We loaned out to Brighton at the end of the season. He was a good stopgap option. I think he did exactly what I looked to bring him in. I didn't look to bring him in as a starter. I looked to bring him in as a guy who could, fill a void if we needed it to be. Sergio Gomez, injury-plagued season, I'd have to say. I don't think there's anything else we could say with this. We'll keep him for another season. We'll see what he has to offer, but maybe a loan spell out would be the beneficiary for him. I think getting him first team game experience would be good for him. So we'll just have to see about that one. Paul Pogba. I mean, what more can we say? Probably my player of the season, as we'll get to that in a bit. I thought he was absolutely just simply unbelievable. Just an absolutely brilliant player. I mean, look at his performances for the season. 7.41, 7.38. Mr. Consistent, Mr. Do it all really. So absolutely delighted with his performances. Jayden Sancho. Now, Sancho did a lot of great, but his rating does leave a lot to be on. I think as the season went on, he got more, he got more settled into the side. He started playing a bit better, but he needs a bit. I need to see a bit more from next season, and I think this is kind of the curse we have at the left wing position. We've tried Sancho, we've tried Thomas Lemar, we've tried Rashford. I don't think any of them have really grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and taken that position and ran with it. So we'll have to see what happens this season. Look, he scored 13 goals in the end with 9 assists. I was happy with his performance. I do think next season, I think that will really be the tetanus. He's had a year to settle in. How does he improve? And we'll go from there. So midfield, or moving off from that and move to the attacking mid positions. Genghis Under, who I think he's been the, I'd argue he's the buy of the career so far. I think it's either him or Tielemans. I think he just bangs in goals constantly for his goals, assists. Brilliant performance when we need the most, comes up clutch and does a really good job. So can't argue anything with that. Ferran Torres is he was a stopgap option, and I don't mean this in a bad term, but look, he's not exactly world like beating or anything like that now. I think he's probably got better potential in real life, but we do have a guy coming back next season who will take his position. I will probably let him go next season, or might let him out actually to see how he goes. But I think he was a good stopgap option when we needed him to. I think he filled in perfectly when we needed to be, and he did a pretty good gig. So Andreas Pereira, I loaned him out to Fiorentina this season. He wasn't really in the plans. Look, I think he needs to go somewhere and figure out what exactly he is. Angel Gomez is another player. I think he picked up a few injuries this season, so I didn't quite get enough out of him. But he's just chugging along nicely. I mean, he's marinating like a fine wine. 22 years old. He's coming along, you know, just about right. So look, I'm going to keep him going. I think he might need a loan spell with those. Get more consistent game time, but look, we'll figure that out when we get to that. I will try to integrate him a bit more into the side probably next season. Bruno Fernandes, our main cam, I think he does a good job. He plays well, does consistency. I think next season I'll probably look to switch Bruno Fernandes and Tonali around a bit more, just to try and get a bit more out of both of them. I did probably play Bruno Fernandes a bit much this season, so I'll probably look to move that. Marcus Rashford, he did start to show up towards the end of the season. I started to see a little bit more. I think with Lamar, the fact that Lamar was injured for so much of the season, I think I probably should have given Rashford a bit more time. I think he probably should have eaten a bit more into Jayden Sancho's minutes. We did spend so much money on Jayden Sancho that I didn't feel we could do that. Anthony Martial, I am conflicted what to do with Martial. I really am. I think he's good enough for another season. But then I think at the same time, I think Mason Greenwood might also be the #1 choice. We'll have to see next season. I don't think I'll let Martial go next season. I'll probably see what he is like. Probably keep him around for one more season to make a decision. I think Thomas Lamar might have reached the end of the line with us. I think he's a great player, but I just don't think he's as. I think Rashford's better. Yes. Does Rashford have more perks? Yes. I don't really need him as a cam, so I think we will probably look to cash in on him this season and see if we can get something out of him, because we do have another player coming back at that position that can cover it, so we're pretty good there. So let's have a look at the average rating. So Paul Pogba, Wan-Bissaka, Twensivi, Ta, Tielemans, Shaw, pretty good side. You know, you can't argue with a lot of those players. Some of the disappointments this season, Gomez was a bit of a disappointment. I thought Gomez was alright, but I do see where they say they can probably get a bit more out of it. Who played the most minutes this season other than De Gea? Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. They play him a little bit too much, I think. We're something to look at for next season. I think the minutes, I think anything more than 3.5 is a bit much, but at the same time, I think we need to be a little bit more pushed on that. Appearances, De Gea leading the pack there. Goals, Martial leading, Greenwood second, Under and Sancho second and third respectively. Paul Pogba then with Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. #1 on the assists leaderboard, Genghis, who seems to find assists for days. And that's a pretty good lineup. My player of the season, I'd have to say, I think you have to argue it. Like, I don't think you can say anyone else but Paul Pogba. I thought he was huge this season. He seemed to come up with all the big things, and 30 years old is really coming along just nicely. Anyway, let's have a look at. Let's go down to the. Let's show the Champions League, because we did look at the Premier League. Let's look at the Champions League. So let's go to the group stages. We'll have a look at the groups. I can't remember which one we were in. So we were in Group B with Benfica, Wolfsburg and Olympiacos. And yeah, this was actually a very tight group. I do remember going through the group. If I can go to Group B and see if they can give us results. I don't think they show, but anyway. Not the easiest group. We did lose one game. Who did we lose to? We lost Benfica away, which is a tight one, but we did get 4 wins. We did the double against both Olympiacos and Wolfsburg, and then we lost to Benfica, but also beat them. But I believe they drew with Wolfsburg twice, so ultimately that was the deciding factor in that one, with them getting 3 wins, 3 draws. We got 4 wins, 1 draw, but the 1 loss, and thankfully we went through #1. So we went through to the first knockout stage. We beat Valencia 4-0. That was pretty pedestrian. We went to the quarterfinal. We beat Inter 3-1 in aggregate. That was actually that was a good game. Semi-final, we played Real Madrid and we went through 2-2 on aggregate, but we did have the away goal, of course, from the Nou Camp. Not the Nou Camp, the Bernabeu, pardon me. And that was ultimately the big one. So, delighted with that. The FA Cup, we lost in the 5th round to Manchester City. I did kind of just concede that one, to be honest. We got knocked out by Portsmouth. We always get knocked out in the 3rd round by Portsmouth. And we won the FA Community Shield, interesting enough, against Manchester City, if I remember correctly. So, overall, a good season. You know, you could argue it's the mini treble, but I think some people won't consider that the treble. Let's get to the transfers again. I want to have a look at the transfer history that we did this season again. So, the players we brought in, we brought in Ferran Torres. I think he was a good backup option. Sergio Gomez, just kind of waiting to see a bit more from him. Lekimar, I don't know what exactly we brought him in for again, but I'm sure we'll bring him back from now on, figure it out. Jonathan Tah, I think, was the real big signing this season. I think he was the rock we needed at the back. Jayden Sancho, I think that 100 million price tag will come good. And then, of course, Dominic Szoboszlai, who I'll probably look at again next season. Who do we lose for money? So we lost Dan James to Milan for 40 million. I think that was probably for the betterment of both sides. We lost Ethan Hamilton. I probably let him go. He's 24. He wasn't really gonna, break into the first team anytime soon. And we lost DJ Sonata, who is an absolute electric left winger, to Southampton. So ultimately, I think we've done everything right there. This is the kid that I think is going to be, is going to cause some problems on the right when next season. I think he's really looking good. I think he's developing nicely. We finally got him work permit. My scouts absolutely loved him when they found this guy, and they literally told me to sign him for whatever the cost. Look at that. He can play inverted winger, inside forward. I'm loving this kid already because he looks like he looks like a coach's dream. But anyway, we'll have to wait for him next season, unfortunately. Finances, as you see, we're doing well with the money. Transfer, look at that. 228 million to spend. There are options. I think we'll definitely look at what's available for next season, but I think next season is going to come down to, ultimately, I think we look at squad depth, look at these options, put all positions on so you can see everything. I think a new striker will be pretty good, although I do think, yes, how do I get the players out on loan? Are they not part of the current squad? Yeah, this guy Blauager. Also, we forgot about Dusan Vlahovic, of course, who's still there as well, but I think I might look to move him on. I think he's probably ready for a new challenge, but I think a striker will be the first thing I look for. I think a left back. I think, Guardiola. I think we need someone here to fight. I think we need someone here to come. Ethan Laird, I really want to believe in him, but I feel like he needs to get out and play games next season. I think he has to get out on loan, and I might look for a new goalkeeper potentially as well. Look, I'm gonna have to do some scouting around. I think after winning the double, I think I don't need to look for a player like Mbappe. I think we're in a good position, so we'll just have to see what we go for. But right now I'm happy with how things are going. We've got a nice side, developing well. I think everything is pointing towards that next season we could potentially do the coveted triple. But anything less than the double next season, I think we'll be disappointed. I'll probably make next season the final season of this career, but we'll go through and we'll see what happens. Look, it's a long season when you do this. The off season when you do Football Manager, it's a bit long, but we'll get around to it when we need to. I'm trying to think of anything else I've missed for this. So obviously we're into June here. Ooh, actually, quickly, if we can go ahead, I think we'll get the fans player of the season, will we? We should, if we can actually do it quickly before I end the video, because I do want to show you guys that, if I can get that up. Bonuses paid out, players moved from shortlist. We need to re-add all these players to the shortlist. That was my mistake. There are players I'm looking at potentially maybe to bring in to improve our youth ranks. So I was expecting the end of season to have started. Yes, here we are. So overall best 11. De Gea in goal, right back Wan-Bissaka, the centre backs Twensibi and Tobias. Interesting enough, I did not think that would be the case. Shaw wins the left back position. Pogba, Tielemans, Bruno Fernandes midfield, Rashford on the left, Martial on the right, and Genghis under on the left. I don't think we can argue with that. I think that's pretty much good for our best team. End of season awards. Player of the season, Paul Pogba takes 75%. I think that's pretty much. I think he's earned that himself. Yuri Tillmans came in second and Jayden Sancho came in third. I think that would probably agree with that. Goal of the season was Jayden Sancho versus Burnley. Starting the season, Jonathan Tad. Have to agree with that. And young player of the season being Jean-Claire Todibo. Season review. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant domination there. Match the season 4 against Arsenal. Match to forget. 4-1 defeat to City. So we're delighted. Club vision expectations. I don't think any of you guys really care about any of this stuff. So their team returns on the 3rd of July. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoy the season review. It's a bit more of a different episode to what you guys would normally see. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you Monday for a new season.